Hello, everyone. My name is Swamp. And it is Friday once again. And let's just get this out of the way right off the bat here. I somehow injured my foot this week, and it is killing me. So if I seem particularly aggravated this Friday, that's why. Or if you hear me randomly wince in pain, that's why. I guess I rolled it, and my ankle hurts, and my foot's messed up. It's not great. It's not great. Anyway, welcome to the show. My name is Swamp, as I said. Don't forget to super chat to support the channel. Super chats will activate the super chat jukebox. As you can see, even though I haven't turned the sound on for it yet, but you get the picture. As always, make sure you like the stream. If you have a Discord, click the link in the chat and in the description. Join the Discord, become a swampling, all that stuff. I forgot, while setting up this show, to put together Swamp in Print, so we're going to blow right past that today. I blame it on my injured foot. I wasn't thinking clearly. I almost forgot the needle drop too, but I had enough time to put that together. So we're just going to jump into the first story. First story is Donald Trump supposedly is facing an indictment soon, which I'm sure we've all heard about. Let's just say I'm not super convinced this is going to happen. So here is... I thought this would be a good way to start the show. A supercut of every time this has happened. To be clear, this has been done many times. The walls are closing in, everybody. The walls are closing in. So here we go. For your enjoyment. Going back to 2017, this has been a wet dream of every Democrat and every mainstream media personality, though I repeat myself. Here we go. Surely this time they've got him.
58 House Democrats have recently voted to advance articles of impeachment.
Impeach him first and then indict him.
Yes, the president, a sitting president, can be indicted.
Even if the president were to somehow find some way to terminate Mueller, the indictments would continue to grind.
You could impeach anybody on anything. You can try and indict.
He is not functioning as the president of the United States. Frankly, if he ever gets indicted, he'll have insanity as a defense, I suppose, from a criminal charge. But it's hardly, this is a serious matter.
You're starting to hear people talk about the possibility that Donald Trump leaves office in 2 years and then finds himself in the crosshairs of these New York prosecutors.
This sitting president can and should be indicted.
President, there for sure is more than likely going to serve some jail time.
It's clear that Trump is the target and he'll be indicted eventually. On the day Donald Trump leaves office, the Justice Department may indict him.
Now there is talk of jail time for the president.
That Mueller could indict the president.
I'm telling you, the walls are closing in.
Should be indicted for calling a
They for sure have him this time, you guys.
He should
Super serial.
have been indicted.
The sitting president can be indicted by the Justice Department.
Why aren't we at the target, Trump, having committed crimes to get the presidency? So why aren't we at an indictment yet?
I think there's generally consensus the president has probably committed indictable crimes.
It's very strongly in favor of indicting the president when he is out of office.
That there may be enough evidence to indict Trump.
Is Donald Trump going to be indicted?
Maybe it'll happen. Maybe he'll go to prison.
Will you ever see the inside of a prison cell?
DA could get a ham sandwich indicted. Hey, listen, Trump's the Big Mac.
Even if Donald Trump himself is not ever indicted, there is another way that prosecutors can actually indict the entire Trump org.
We hope that the Attorney General sees the importance of moving ahead with this indictment, moving ahead with locking Steve Bannon up.
The whole enchilada, the whole company indicted by next week.
Why not pursue it and see what happens?
Merrick Garland, if you indict Trump, you'll be my person of the year, of the decade.
The only thing worse than indicting him would be not indicting him.
Would be folly not to indict them.
Donald Trump is an ordinary citizen and is committing crimes right now.
I like the idea of Mark Meadows going to jail for the rest of his life, but I still think that the committee has laid out that the person on top of all of this, in charge of all of this, doing all of this, was Donald Trump.
I think now for him not to indict, frankly, would cause this country more harm than even if he indicts and there's a hung jury or not a successful conviction.
I think there should be no case in which they wouldn't indict.
I don't think we should be treating him the way other ex-presidents were treated.
I think the extent of what Donald Trump's done is so egregious.
I'm sensing a theme here. I don't know about you guys.
No fair-minded attorney general would have
they got something against Trump.
Garland is preparing to indict Trump despite moving at the cautious pace of an institutionalist.
The only reasons Trump hasn't been indicted by now is because he's a former president and because he has hand-picked judges on his side.
Accountability for some people means that we get a pound of flesh from Donald Trump and that he ends up behind bars.
Don't you think it's about time for special counsel Jack Smith to just indict Trump?
And would such a move take Trump off the campaign trail?
Is this the charge you would want him to be indicted on? Would a January 6th DOJ indictment or, say, a Georgia election interference charge carry more weight?
They got him this time, you guys. The walls have closed in. There's no escape this time. Surely he's been on the verge since 2017. The real question is there's just so many things, right? So many things we could charge him with. Yet this is what they chose. A dead case having to do with Stormy Daniels. But this is it, you guys. This is it. Again, you might even say, and this is just me, spitballing, just coming up with this off the top of my head, that the walls are closing in on Donald Trump. He's done for this time. Absolutely done for.
The walls feel like they are closing in.
But as the walls close in around the president,
Donald Trump feels the walls closing in.
I think this is a guy who feels like the walls are closing in.
The walls are closing in on him?
Because the walls are closing in.
The walls are closing in on the president.
Now the walls appear to be closing in.
Really kind of the walls closing in on him.
The walls are closing in because
do you guys think the walls are closing in?
I think at this point, the walls are spinning.
Yeah,
the legal
walls are spinning.
The walls are closing in on President Trump.
The walls, meanwhile, are closing in on the President of the United States.
The walls closing in on President Donald Trump.
It appears that the walls are closing in on this president.
It feels that the walls are closing in on him.
The walls closing in on him.
The walls are closing in.
And the walls are closing in on...
That the walls are closing in on the president.
Are the walls closing in?
The walls are closing in on the presidency. It says as the walls begin to close around him. The political walls closing in on him.
This is a president that feels the walls closing in.
The walls are closing in on Donald Trump.
I think the walls are finally closing in.
The walls.
The walls. The walls.
The walls.
The walls.
Walls.
And the walls.
The walls. The walls.
The walls.
Walls
are closing.
Closing in.
Closing.
Closing in.
Closing in. Closing in on.
It's closing in.
The walls are closing in on
President Donald Trump.
He's not looking forward to any of it. He's horrified.
I'm pretty sure what we're seeing here is that this is it. The walls are closing in. Finally got him. We got our man. Surely this time it's going to stick. I mean, I can't imagine a scenario where it doesn't. They are so obsessed with this that they don't even care that it's going to be detrimental to them and help grow Trump. They really don't care. They just have had this insatiable appetite for this for so long. They cannot let it go. Which is why I'm sure this time, they've got their man. In other news, there's a trend that has been happening for a while that I'm not sure many people have noticed. I might be the only one to have ever noticed this. There seems to be a trend of taking white characters and turning them black. I know, it's a shock. Most people are not aware of this, and very few people are talking about it. But they always say, "Oh, who cares? It's just, it's a story about fairies and orcs. Who cares if they change the character? You're stupid for not wanting that. Oh, they're just cartoon characters. It doesn't matter." Well, as we now know, that argument really doesn't hold any weight at all. And they don't even believe it because they keep taking historical characters, actual people, and changing them from white to black. The blackwashing, if you will, of history. Which is just, I mean, who could have seen this coming, right? We had no idea. So here's the latest in a long line of this, all right? This one, man, it's beautiful and brave, honestly. It's just beautiful and brave.
There is reason they wanted me. Why me?
Charlotte, but there are worse fates than marrying the King of England.
It is time we were united as a society. You will make lots
I just want to point out that they flashed the red N after this. I didn't add that in, okay? I don't want to be blamed for that.
My life as queen was difficult.
I'm Brimsley. I'm always with you, Your Highness.
Brimsley, tell me about the king. Is he ugly, perhaps deformed?
He is the king.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. That's enough of that. You get the picture. So Queen Charlotte, and in case that I even needed to show anybody this. So here we go. Queen Charlotte. Queen Charlotte. Oh, there seems to be something different going on here, but it's spot on. Dead ringer. Absolutely 100%. Could not be better cast. And I know this makes me a bigot because I'm sure that they just casted her because she's a great actress. It's the only reason, because you could never even find another instance of this. Or can you? Here we go. I mean, I'm noticing a trend here. I could be wrong, and I probably am because I'm a white cartoon. But Anne Boleyn. Oh, well, there seems to be a trend forming here. Oh, but no. Don't notice this. Don't notice this, and don't read too much into it, because it's not like there's also just people out there in the mainstream actually just saying that we should get rid of white people altogether. This is art. Stop nitpicking, okay? There's no reason why you can't just change the race and change history. Come on. It's 2023. We can do whatever we want, because surely there is not a single person out there who's actually advocating for this so-called right-wing conspiracy of white genocide. That's just crazy far-right bigots that think that. Or is it?
We are going to exterminate white people, because that, in my estimation, is the only conclusion I have come to. We have to exterminate white people off of the face of the planet to solve this problem. Now, I don't care whether you clap or not, but I'm saying to you that we need to solve this problem, because they are going to kill us. And I will leave on that. So we have to just set up our own system and stop playing and get very serious and not be diverted. And the one idea is...
Yeah, so no irony there at all that just, they're gonna kill us. They're evil because they're gonna kill us. So we should kill them. Even though no one's advocating for the genocide of black people. No one. But sure. Right. I only see this going in one direction. I mean, maybe there's people out there doing this in the reverse, but I tend to only see white people in history being changed to black. You don't usually see a black person being changed to white. They'll tell you that it exists, that there's been a whitewashing of history in general, and then not provide any evidence other than Well, you know what? Mozart, he was probably black. Abraham Lincoln was probably black. And what? I don't think so. I think that's something we would have been aware of. But sure. It's totally fine. Nothing to see here. Not a problem. Let's move on to the winner of TikTok Tuesday.
Obvious the government wants TikTok gone because it's the only news source not on their payroll, and we can incite change faster than they can censor us, and that's a problem for them. We already know y'all bringing back Jim Crow laws as y'all pipeline and try and put us back on a plantation.
This week's winner was none other than Jackie. She has won the award for the smartest and greatest woman on TikTok for Women's History Month. And let me tell you, she is absolutely brilliant. A mind that cannot be rivaled, cannot be challenged. The big brain ideas coming your way. I gotta say, you are not ready for this. So here we go. Jackie, take it away.
Not all races are fat, but Mexicans are fat. It's not their fault. It's the cuisine.
What we're not gonna do is fat shame an entire country and then try to demonize their cultural food. This is a good time to remind you all that fat phobia is rooted in racism and anti-blackness. Black and brown bodies are naturally curvier, and that's because the areas in which our ancestors came from were abundant in food and resources. Our bodies are naturally bigger because we didn't experience famines as often as other people around the world.
That is hell of a claim right there.
Platform is just
that is a hell of a claim.
Foods. He's basically just promoting disordered eating, and now he's just being blatantly xenophobic and racist. And it's clear that he doesn't even know what Mexican cuisine consists of, because he took one video of street food and then generalized the entire cuisine. When in reality, Mexican cuisine relies on fresh, diverse ingredients. It is incredibly healthy. And it's
How are
clear
you going to take
no idea what he's
Jackie? You're taking one video of this guy. One video where he's clearly making a joke. I mean, I would be surprised if there wasn't a little tongue-in-cheek involved here. But even if he is for real, you're saying you can't just take one thing and generalize it. So now let me take one video of you talking for 5 seconds and explain everything about your life that's incorrect. And how you're wrong about everything. Man, big brain stuff coming from Jackie. Well deserved, I would add, that she gets the medal for this week's TikTok Tuesday for the most beautiful, brave, smart woman of Women's History Month of TikTok. Make sure you catch next Tuesday, where we're going to be going over, and I'm not even sure if we're going to be able to get away with this. This might get, that stream might get taken down, but it's the white lesbians who for some reason act like black guys. Yeah, there's a lot of them. There is a lot of them.
Obvious the government wants TikTok gone because it's the only news source not on their payroll, and we can incite change faster than they can censor us, and that's a problem for them. We already know y'all bringing back Jim Crow laws as y'all pipeline and try and put us back on a plantation.
All right, moving right along. If you are in the Discord, you know that I was trying to figure out a way to get up to Purdue University for the Michael Knowles speech that he was going to be giving a speech there, and there was supposed to be a ton of protesters. It was supposed to just be crazy. It was just too last minute. Couldn't find a way to get the money together, and it was just a pain. Maybe one day I'll be able to do spontaneous swamp on the scene streams, but we still have some footage from it, and it was crazy. Absolutely. First up, I think this was before his speech, protesters already showing up, and well, they made some compelling points, as they always do. So the if being queer was a choice, we would choose it every day. I just can't keep up with anymore. Is it? Are they saying it's a choice? Is it a? Are you born this way? Are you supposed to just you're part of accepting yourself because you were born this way? I really don't know. They keep changing they keep moving the goalposts here on this one, and it's really hard to keep up. But okay, so they're saying trans hate kills, which is, you know, they're the ones that are full of empathy, don't want anyone dying. That's just bad. Ignore the guy there that is holding the sign that says "Kill yourself, Michael Knowles." That's the guy over there on the right who's but in every other instance, causing someone's death is a very bad thing. I would assume that for the most part they would denounce any kind of violence or anything that would be considered deadly or oh wait. Okay, well, so we trans hate kills, that's a given. We know that. Trans hate resulting in people dying, bad news. Don't want that. Horrible. Michael Knowles, he can kill himself. That's totally cool. We want him to die. Death to fascists. That's totally on board with that. I'm sure that's it, though. I'm sure there's no other groups of people or things that they would wish death on, because that's very bad. That's a very bad thing to do. Oh, well, transphobic, kill yourself. Okay, well, I'm starting to think these people actually don't give a rat's ass about people being mean to someone to the point where they kill themselves. I'm starting to think that maybe the whole we're upset about trans hate because it kills people. I mean, is that really a big deal? It doesn't seem. There seems to be a little bit of hypocrisy there, but I'm sure that's, it's hard to tell the difference. I get it. These are college students. Their reasoning ability is not super high. I understand that. But I do think, before we go on to the next video, I do want to point out this photo because I think it absolutely perfectly encapsulates where a lot of this problem is, where a lot of this problem is coming from. As you've heard me say many times, that college-educated white women are a blight on this country. And it's a bummer, but it does seem to hold true. So we've got these beautiful and brave ladies here. Protect trans kids, trans rights are human rights, eradicate transphobia. Dump your transphobic boyfriend. 40% of trans people have attempted suicide. Wake up. I would also ask you to wake up. I mean, there's got to be a reason for that, right? It's not just because someone was mean to him. Because if that was enough, I'm sure Michael Knowles actually would kill himself, because look at these crazy people. But, this is just... It's hard to look at, honestly. Unfortunately, these middle class and upper middle class white women are just so... They've been so indoctrinated with white guilt. They're the oppressors. They're the ones who birth the oppressors, because, they're the ones that give birth to white men, and they just have this ridiculous... They said they're a blight on the country. Absolutely 100%. But yeah, all that was before his speech. Let's take a look at what happened during the speech, because I'm sure they were respectful and they were like, they protested before, maybe protest after, but free speech, right? We believe in free speech. We should, free marketplace of ideas in universities. That's kind of the point of it. Yeah, let's check in and see how that went. They started some weird, I guess, parade in the hallway. They love this stuff, you know, the little, it's like they're having their own little fashion show. People walking down the middle. We got this guy here with his, what is it? Defend equality with his little rifle and his trans flag. Looks like a guy you should be scared of. I mean, look at him. Look out, man. And of course, all of these signs are just absolutely absurd. But here, check this out. This is actually my favorite part of this. This guy right here. He's looking at the camera right there in the middle. Yeah, he is a perfect example of how these people are and how they act. I mean, watch this guy. Watch his face and his eyes. He's clearly getting a lot of self-gratification out of what's going on here because he's a part of the group, and it's sad and pathetic. Watch this guy's face. Watch this guy's face. Really zero in on this. I mean, man, watch this. Man, he gives himself a little smirk in between because he's like, oh my gosh, I'm a part of something, you guys. Like, look, oh my God, I'm with it. People agree with me. Like, right there. Man. You sad, pathetic man. Look at him. I can't believe it, you guys. I'm finally cool, you guys. Make bullying great again. That's all I'm saying. Look at this guy. Oh, man. Of course, we got our whole group of trans people here. The trans disabled. I mean, it's great. So let's see what we got here. For the good of society, conservatism must be eradicated. Well. Sure. I'm not sure I agree with that, but it's all right. I like how they just have signs now that say, shut the fuck up. Ah, yes, we've devolved to the core of any leftist argument. Just stop talking. Just stop. Stop conversing with people. It's just knock it off. Gotta love it. Also, at another point, I'm not sure if this was during the speech or before it, but some guy in a MAGA hat was heckling them. Here, let's take a look at it.
Supporter is a Nazi. Trump is a Nazi. He expresses Nazism.
And the absolute irony of telling this guy, take off your mask, you pussy, as this guy's yelling at him with a mask on. Fantastic.
Die. That's what you do. Sorry. You're really representing the best of it.
Don't block anyone else. We're not blocking anyone. We're not blocking Don't debate him. Just walk away.
My favorite is the guy that, you know, these people are supposed to be the caring ones, and this guy comes up and just says, "You should shoot yourself, man."
Stop denying that you're a president. Don't debate him. Tell him, hey, kill yourself. You should shoot yourself. Die. That's what you do. Sorry.
Kill yourself, shoot yourself, die. That's what you should do. I'm sorry. while being here to protest speech that could potentially lead to someone killing themselves. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Not even accidental self-awareness. It's just great. All right, moving on to the Twitter thread of the week. Now, this is a fantastic Twitter thread of the week, if I do say so myself. It's a woman, again, a college-educated white woman, explaining about how she's laxing her approach to masking finally. But I mean, she's still wearing them all the time, but there's just certain situations under certain very specific conditions that she won't wear them. And this is just not good, okay? People don't like this. She's the fascist now, even though she's still wearing a mask while pretty much doing everything. So here we got Diana. I no longer mask everywhere. I avoid most large gatherings, choose outdoors whenever possible, and assess indoor spaces on basis of density/ventilation. I also consider date of last booster. No, Novavax 3 weeks ago. Is that what is the Novavax? I don't know. I continue to mask on planes and anywhere else I consider high risk. So basically, she's testing the waters here to say, is it okay for me to stop masking like all the time if I'm still, let's just see how this goes. Her follow-up was, people need to have access to quality tools to make that assessment, like a good air quality meter and what the FDA should approve, at-home lateral flow quantitative neutralizing antibody test. Wow. I carry an air quality meter with me everywhere I go, and I took monthly titrid antibody tests for 2 years. Post my single documented case of COVID. Man. What a crazy person. What an absolute crazy person. People are not super stoked about this now. Luckily, it seems that the tide has shifted enough that when I first saw this thread, it was mostly people talking about how you're not helping anybody and you look dumb as shit. Yeah, when I first found this thread, it was mostly people who were saying that, I can't believe you would do this. You're putting everyone at risk. You're putting everyone at risk. But it looks as though the thread has shifted as more and more people have found it. Yeah, see, it was mostly stuff like this. A good portion of the folks that follow you have long COVID. They still mask indoors. You can't accurately assess most indoor spaces. I get it, though. I know plenty of folks who are vaxxed and relaxed. If you have severely suffered with long COVID for years, you have less tolerance for risk. Can you believe people are like this? I mean, this is just absurd. And she responds, that's precisely my point. People need to assess their own risk and have access to quality tools to make that assessment, like a good air quality meter and what the FDA should approve. Man, the fact that there's still people like this who exist is just remarkable. Always have the crazy eyes with a soulless bent to them. So thank you, Diana, for an amazing Twitter thread of the week. Moving on to a very bizarre trend that has been going around is we know that the teachers are not well. We know that. That's been very well established on this channel. The teachers are not doing okay. They are absolutely insane. But recently they've been admitting that, because they've been trying to say that they're caring for the kids, right? They're teaching kids. They want them to know about these things in the world, and they're helping them, you know? Which we all knew was BS, but that's what they were saying. That's how they were trying to get away with this stuff. Now they're just admitting what we all have known, is that they like the fact that they're confusing the children. They've been telling us for well over a year, since this has been, you know, prominent in the mainstream discussion. The kids aren't confused by it. The kids get it. It's only you. You're the one who's confused by it. Now they're just admitting that, no, the kids are confused by it, and I like it. I love it. It's great. These people, man.
One of my coworkers told me that they were talking to some students in the hallway, and the students asked the other teacher if I'm a boy or a girl. And the teacher was like, does it matter? You know, she's cool. And they were like, no, I just can't figure it out. It's just so hard. I can't figure it out. It's just like, that's the goal.
You are a sick human being.
One of my coworkers.
Does it matter? Teacher says, does it matter? Are you a boy or a girl? Does it matter? Well, no, it actually doesn't matter if you are a boy or a girl. What matters is you're intentionally trying to confuse children. And they are confused. You're giving them a foggy worldview. They can't adequately process the information around them because of you. And you're doing it intentionally, which is just objectively an evil thing to do to a child. I mean, I don't know of any other way to say it. I'm pretty sure it could be one of the most evil things to do to a child. Make them confused about the world around them at a time when they're having a hard time processing things because they're children and you're supposed to be there to help them and guide them. And you go, that's the point. You're confused. And this is not a one-off. As if you couldn't guess that. Here's another teacher that goes into it even more, and this is just absolutely pathetic. I can't believe we've gotten to a point in society where we even let people who look like this around children. And I mean that. That's not a joke. I mean, when someone looks this mentally unwell and they say, hi, I'd like to teach your first grade class. You go, you need to leave now or we're going to call the police and have you removed. This is a danger to children. I can already tell you that. But we've successfully removed that part of our brains and our thought process that assesses things that you see in the world, because, you know, you could be bigoted, you could be transphobic, you could be racist, you could be whatever. But that's like one of the most important things that human beings can do, is decipher data and visual cues and learn to assess the world around you. But of course, that's what they want to confuse in children, as that one teacher said. So here we go. Another beautiful and brave teacher who also basically just gets off on confusing kids. Straight to jail. Straight to jail.
When I started teaching this year, I drastically changed my appearance. I had a surgery. I started taking hormones. I cut off all my hair. I have a mustache now. Kids got confused. Again, because they still call me Miss and they call me she, her.
Ma'am, that is not a mustache.
They asked me, are you
Get
a
outta
boy?
here.
And I just said no. Are you a girl? I said no. Do I call you Mr.? No. Do I call you Mrs.? No. They were confused. So I posted in this private trans teacher group about this
What a
situation.
scumbag.
And I said, and I quote, I am mostly enjoying the confusion about what I am. Wonder what they're going to do when I have a mustache and a skirt later this week. Fox News got a hold of this post in the private group and posted online that I enjoy confusing children and I'm ruining their minds. You know, what they always say. And this obviously got national attention. Because of this,
You literally just said you enjoyed it.
was concerned for the
Ugh.
safety of me and my students and put me on administrative leave for 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks. This was right before winter break, so I had a long break. And it was awful. I wanted to be teaching. That is all I have ever wanted to do. So they post this article, national attention, I'm put on administrative leave. There is no investigation into like my part of this. I was never notified of an investigation. There is no note of this on my record. I was just put on administrative leave and then told when to come back. When I was told to come back, I had a meeting with HR and I was told that I will no longer be in my position. I am getting transferred to a different position in the district teaching high school students. I had no choice in this matter. I was just told to sign papers about it and given my new duties. They are allowed to do this because it's in our contract that the superintendent can make that choice for any teacher at any time with whatever his discretion is. So, because of a Fox News article, I am not at my job anymore. The job that I loved, the job that I was good at, the job that I always had good ratings every year.
Well, you were objectively not good at it. I mean, that's very clear.
Loved me because I am trans. And Fox News had a play day with me. And I have a different job now because of it. I'm going to stop this video for a second because I'm going to cry for a minute. And then I'm going to come back. Also, a side note here, God. I was never told about any threats that were made against me or my students. I was just told that they were concerned about our safety. That's all that I was ever told by the district. So anyway, my entire life is uprooted. I'm worried about losing my job during this administrative leave because I was told nothing for 2.5 weeks. And just everything was terrible. And I love my current job that I was put on starting in January. I'm good at it too. I'll get good ratings just like I always do. I love my kids. It's great. But it's not what I have dreamed of doing my whole life. It is not. And it is all because I'm trans. Every single part of this is because I'm trans. And because I dared to say that kids are confused because I'm not allowed to talk to them. Of course they're confused.
That is not what you said. That is not what you said, lady.
Kids have questions, and I could not give answers. Oh, God. And I'm not saying that I should be allowed to. I'm just saying that I couldn't. So, of course, they were confused. Of course. And I post about it, and I say that I enjoy it because I am non-binary, and I want people to be confused when they look at me. Whether it be an adult or a child, I like confusing people, and I will stand by that. Should I have posted it?
Oh, yeah, that's what a teacher should say.
I thought it was safe because it was in a trans teacher group, but it got infiltrated and then posted on Fox News. And right now, I go by he, him, and Mr. at school.
Oh, it's going to make her cry.
I still wear my pins. Some of the students have noticed it because they're high school students and they understand and call me they, them. Most do not. At all of the schools I go to, the directors call me he, him. My supervisor calls me he, him. Everybody calls me he, him. And I am terrified of correcting anyone because of everything that has happened to me, and I should not be terrified of that. But I am. I'm just going to wrap this up with saying that trans people are scapegoats right now, and it's dangerous for us. It is. Even though my district didn't tell me what the threats were, there were threats. Just because I exist and have the audacity to do that. It's wrong, and it has to change.
Oh, no. That's not even what happened. By your own account, that's not even what happened. What the hell is... what is wrong with these people? I mean, genuinely. This is insanity. In her own video, she says multiple times, I enjoy confusing people, adults and children, which is a hell of a thing for a teacher to say in any context at all. And then also said that there wasn't threats, but they were concerned that there might be threats, and then ends it by saying, I don't know what the threats were, but there were threats. I mean, there's so much of this. And one thing that drives me crazy about these people is how fake and tired they sound when this is all I've ever wanted to do with my life. Oh, really? So it sounds to me like you saw a Lifetime movie about some teacher, some inspirational Lifetime movie about a teacher helping inner city kids and talking about how this is all I've ever wanted to do, and I'm going to stand up to the system to help these children. This does not sound true. When the way these people say it, where they say this is all I've ever wanted to do, the way they say that it sounds as fake as their self-identified gender is. It's absolutely absurd, and none of this should be taken seriously, except for the part about saying you want to confuse children. That alone should be enough for the district to be able to fire you, right? I mean, wouldn't you think that would be enough? Well, that's the opposite of your job, ma'am. That is literally the opposite of why you're here. If that's why you're here, there's the door, okay? You are allowed to leave at any time, and if you don't, we'll just fire you. You can't. I mean, that's like saying that you're someone, you get hired as a ditch digger, and then when they show up, they go, "Wait, what's going on? The hole that the crew built before, that dug before you, is gone. Oh, I filled it in." Well, that's the opposite of what we hired you for. We hired you to dig ditches. We hired you to educate the children and decloud their worldview. We hired you to teach them things, which inherently will make them less confused about the world. Oh, well, I like to confuse people, so... Oh, well, by all means. Oh, you're transgender? Well, just go right ahead. Children be damned. Who cares? And because it always has to get worse every single time, as if this isn't enough, the latest transgender insanity has just dropped. We are... let me put it this way. If you are an organ donor right now, it's on your driver's license that you're an organ donor, I would highly advise that you change that. Because, sure, I mean, before it's like, well, I guess, yeah, if someone needs, one of my organs after I die, sure, that's fine, unless, some people have religious objections to that, which is fine too. Now they might take your uterus or your penis and try to attach it to another person. So, yeah, I would advise not being an organ donor anymore.
I have some amazing news about the future of being trans. In 2018, the uterine transplant trials welcomed its first child, which was a huge breakthrough for infertile cis and intersex women. But with that arose the question, would a uterine transplant work for trans women as well? Turns out the answer is most likely yes, and this has been in development, which is incredible. It would mean all kinds of women are able to carry and have their own children. But not only is this in the works, what is another common thing that people say against trans women or trans men? You don't really have a pee-pee or a raguba. It's just your original junk reform. What if I told you that John Hopkins was able to successfully transfer genitals? That is right, donor genitals could be a thing in the future. For trans people that aren't interested in the current technology we have for bottom surgery, there will be a day soon where
how can you not see that this is something so horrific that even Mengele wouldn't have gone down this road?
That's where you're wrong. Not only are they actively working on the transfer of gonads and genitals, researchers have successfully engineered their first sustainable chromosomal changes in mice. This is huge, because in theory, we will be able to change our chromosomes. Sex is defined as hormones, chromosomes, gonads, and genitals. And we are on the cusp of being able to control all of those things within humans.
That is insanity unlike anything we've ever seen. This is the you will live to see man-made horrors beyond your comprehension. Why? Man. I would love to hear any actual argument for why this should ever be done, ever. I mean, that I don't even know what to say, honestly. genuinely speechless. This is something that Mengele wouldn't have done. This is crazy. How could we have come to the pinnacle of human society, to the point where we are living in the best time that you could ever be alive, where theoretically you should have the smartest population in the history of the world? Information is so easily accessible. I mean, we should theoretically be living in the, 1950s version of the future, the sci-fi of just this amazing thing where everyone is smart, everyone is good looking and thin and has, they're well adjusted. If you have some problem, there's some quick, easy way to fix it because we've been able to figure out most illnesses, diseases. And instead, we're living in a time where someone wants to tell you that it's exciting and a good thing that you could take a man, cut him open, take a woman, cut her open, take the uterus out, implant it in a man, and sew him back up. We're supposed to believe that this is an advancement in science? What? This is literally hell on earth. This is something that would... this is something from Dante's Inferno. That's what would happen in one of the rings of hell. Man. It's mind-boggling to even consider that someone would suggest this, let alone be excited about it. Damn. But, of course, don't worry. It gets worse.
But with her, I'm worried about her mental well-being and her dilation. The minute she leaves my house, we have a dilation problem.
That is a concern. When you don't have that watchful eye, they tend to go back to old patterns.
I have woken Jazz out of a dead sleep and taken the dilator and put the lubrication on it and said, here, you take this and you put it in your vagina. If not, I will. But Jazz is bad, even when I'm home once a day. I would be so mad if she goes away to college and that thing seals up. I will wring her neck. Can you imagine? No, I can't imagine. But with her...
Holy shit, man. So if you don't know the context here, this is the mother of Jazz Jennings, who's been a famous trans kid for many years. And recently, Jazz Jennings has not been doing well, to put it lightly, as having a lot of mental anguish, absolute despair over what has happened to him. And the mother is on television, on a reality TV show, talking about how she would force... talking about how she would rape her son with a dilator to keep the new vagina open. And this is on television. And the producer is even sympathizing with her and saying, oh, no, I can't imagine. You're absolutely right. That's just, wow. What? What? Holy shit, lady. Prison for the rest of your life would be too good for you. This is an Old Yeller situation, okay? I've been saying that a lot lately. This is an Old Yeller situation. Yeah, I'm sorry. Take her out back. That dog won't hunt. That's put her down. This is holy crap, dude. That is insane. But don't worry. It gets worse.
So, are you feeling like you wanted to start talking about... Are you okay?
I'm okay.
I'm going to cry. But
You know I can't get out of my head.
I know. No, listen.
It just doesn't stop.
It's okay. Give me a hug. It's okay. I know what you're going through. We've been there before.
No, it still doesn't stop now.
I
And
know.
I'm already going back to negative.
But the more you're talking about yourself, it gets harder. You're digging in and it's making you put a magnifying glass on what's already difficult as it is. So this is hard for you, I know, and we don't want to push you
I know
anymore.
I'm the one doing it. Like,
I know, you're your own worst enemy.
I feel kind of all over the place and like my mind is very cluttered and not clear. And I really want to have that clarity. I really want to understand myself and be able to read my own soul and what I want. And it's just very challenging. And I think I'm kind of breaking down a little bit and spiraling into negativity. I just want to feel like myself. Like,
So, yeah, this is what happens when you have people like those two teachers who want to confuse the children. That is a biological male right there. And the absolute anguish and despair is just unthinkable. And then this mother is sitting over here saying, I know what you're going through. I know what you're going through. And the kid's trying to say, no, mom, you don't. I'm the one living this. You don't know. No, you're just getting in your own head. Just don't. That's your solution? Just don't think about it anymore? just stop thinking about it. Problems, boom, gone. That's what? Like I said, this is an old Yeller situation. Not for the kid, for the mom. I mean, holy crap. What an absolutely evil, in every sense of the word, human being. Holy crap, man. It's unthinkable that we've allowed this to happen. I mean, this is just on a whole nother level. Straight to jail or the gallows, whichever we can make happen. But I would never advocate for that because it's not YouTube friendly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, if this is bringing you down, Super Chats will activate the Super Chat jukebox so we can maybe take a break from the absolute hellscape that is the world we live in currently. Make sure you've liked the stream if you haven't already. If you have a Discord, check the link. Join the Discord. I promise it's not always this depressing. I mean, sometimes, but not always. Not always. Let's see, how much time do we have? We've been going for an hour. Okay. Sure, we'll do one more. Vice News reports what it's like to be a gender fluid sex worker. Good Lord. Jane Way, yes, that's the name that she's chosen for herself. Jane Way tells us about being cast in cis female porn roles, how dealing with misgendering from clients, and the frustration of fluidity. Oh, Lord. It's even, I mean, who would have guessed? It's even tough out there for the adult entertainers. Who could have thought that their lives might be unstable, unhealthy, and just generally not conducive to a good mental state? Who could have seen that coming? This is really out of left field. This is great reporting from Vice right here.
I love my job. The hardest part about it is the erection. That's it. I'm Jane Way. I'm a queer, gender fluid, disabled sex worker. I'm a punk that loves to fuck and loves to love. I've always just had a draw to the freedom of it. And I've always been such a sexual person.
Yeah, you definitely look
pressure
absolutely
to
free. Totally free.
As she in the context of sex work. They, them are my pronouns. I've lost tons of clients for not just accepting the she label. I recognize a lot of my white and thin privilege have afforded me a lot of...
Man, that must be tough, you know? You're just out here trying to make an honest living, and then the guy that's about to pay you for some sexual act, which I'm pretty sure is still illegal everywhere, but wants to call you a she. Man, the mental anguish. I mean, the sex worker part, totally fine. No effect on your mental health. Totally normal. She loves it. It's free. It's freeing. That's why you look like this, because that's totally what a normal, healthy person looks like. But yeah, can you imagine your client misgenders you? Well, now we've gone off the beaten path here. Now things are just getting crazy. I can't fathom what that must be like. Jane Way. Gee.
Of opportunities in this business. It wasn't until my first stint in college did I realize the language of like non-binary, of gender fluid, of trans identities.
You know, it's crazy because we're often told that they're not pushing this stuff. You know, it's a trip. We're usually told that you're crazy. They're not pushing these identities. They're just making them available. They're just whatever. They're not. That's a conspiracy. Oh yeah, the first time I ever even heard about this was in college. No, colleges are great. Everyone should still go to college. I mean, if you want to be as well adjusted as this lady, definitely I would recommend going to college. Or alternatively, you can be a black and white cartoon with a beard, tattoos, who lives on a farm and just bullies people on the internet. I know which one I'd rather be. But, you know, to each their own. To each their own.
Didn't have to be the girl my parents raised me to be.
I'm not sure I'm allowed to show that on YouTube. That just seems mildly inappropriate.
As gender fluid.
But it's okay, you can hear it and listen and look at me.
I remember one of my debut shows,
All right,
my
we're back.
mom came to see me. I finished a song and I went, "Hey mom, I'm one of those they them
Stop
people."
Stop touching your hair.
Like,
God, that's
she
annoying.
actually just told me she's proud of me for the first time since I became a sex worker, which is I love my mom. I love you, mom.
Absolutely, totally, perfectly well-adjusted human being. Nothing wrong there. Constantly messing with their hair the whole time. I mean, the whole thing is just normal. Absolutely normal. I can't imagine of a more normal person. And I'm sure her mom really is proud of her. I'm sure it wasn't just something that she said. All right, first super chat of the night. Is it going to be Alex Jones? Alex Jones time? It seems like it almost always ends up being Alex Jones, the first one out of the gate. Let's see what we get.
I want nothing. I want nothing. I want no quid pro quo. Tell Zelensky to do the right thing. I want no quid pro quo.
Sorry, no Alex Jones, but you can't go wrong with emo Trump singing about the quid pro quo. I think I've raised people's expectations too high that it's always going to be an Alex Jones one. That's my fault. Absolutely my fault. All right, the final thing in the evening, and this is just a quick one. Maybe be about 3 minutes. And then we're going to call it a successful Friday. Recently, Fauci, there's been some videos of him going viral. One where he gets totally owned by this black guy in like a poor area where Fauci's supposed to be going out to convince people to get vaccinated. And the guy just dumps on him, explains why that's stupid and he's not going to do it. And Fauci looks like he doesn't know what to do because he doesn't. He's not aware that there's people who can disagree with him. It just doesn't seem fair, you know? Which I think that clip was from 2021, I believe. And then recently, a clip from, I think, 2022. Oh, no, it was recently this year, where he's talking about how he doesn't think he did anything wrong during the pandemic. And if anything, he should have started pushing for masks and lockdowns faster. That we didn't do it quick enough, and that it would have been better if we had started masking much faster. I'm not sure that there's a human being alive on the face of the earth that would agree with him on that. I don't think that's a very popular opinion, and I'm pretty sure he would have a hard time convincing anyone else that that's the case. But I tell you all this just so you're aware that Fauci's still out there believing everything he's saying, still trying to convince people to get vaccinated, still pushing masks, still collecting his own memorabilia in his $3 million mansion in Washington, D.C., which is just great. I mean, that's really what we all hope for, is that, he has enough rooms in his house to store all his Fauci memorabilia, his pillows, his hats, his shirts, the paintings, as any good man of the people leader, well, you would expect, right? I mean, that's just good leadership and shows that he really cares for the people. Obviously, great guy, great guy. Now, I bring all this up so we can check in. Let's check in and see how this is all working out for us. I bet you Fauci's totally 100% right that vaccines are great and we should still be trying to get people to take them. They're the best. It's like everyone's favorite fruit roll-up or something. Everybody wants one. It's just they're fantastic. They're feel-good things. It's amazing. So let's see how that's working out for us.
Cooper 360. Brought to you by Pfizer.
ABC News Nightline. Brought to you by Pfizer. Making a difference. Brought to you by Pfizer.
CNN Tonight. Brought to you by Pfizer. Early Start. Brought to you by Pfizer. Friday night on Aaron Burnett Out Front. Brought to you by Pfizer.
This Week with George Stephanopoulos is brought to you by Pfizer.
Today's countdown to the royal wedding is brought to you by Pfizer.
And now a CBS Sports Update brought to you by Pfizer.
Meet the Press Data Download. Brought to you by Pfizer.
This portion of CBS This Morning sponsored by Pfizer.
On how to find the hidden sugars in the American family diet. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Cooper 360.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I, for one, am glad that we still have a man like Fauci who's out there telling the people, get vaccinated, wear your masks. We should be doing more of this. It's going great. And just remember, whenever you tell yourself, well, at least it can't get any worse than this. Oh, it can. And it will. All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. My name is Swamp. Make sure you like the video, subscribe, check out the Discord link, all the good stuff. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I haven't decided if I'm going to play some games or if we're going to do the living room stream where we watch the just god-awful, terrible new report about the Uvalde shooting. Oh, man, that will get me fired up watching that thing. It's pretty brutal. They even actually changed it was from the Texas Tribune, put it out. They even unlisted the video, so it's not even on their YouTube page anymore. But luckily, I had it bookmarked, so I was able to go to the unlisted video, and I downloaded it in case they actually delete it. So we got it. We got it in its full 1080p glory. Man. If you want to know what rage feels like, we're going to watch that. All right, guys. Like I said, thanks for hanging out. It's been fun. And I'll see you guys next time.